gorgeous. I'm the Fairy Voice Mother, and today I'm going to be reacting to Teddy SWIMS performing I Can't Make You Love Me. Now, I've heard Teddy swimming around in my comments before, but I've never listened to him. I've waited for this moment. I do know this song quite well though. This is a cover of a Bonnie Raitt song. And if you're not familiar with the song, don't worry, unless you also have abandonment issues, in which case, I'm sorry. It's awful. It's very real. Teddy here will sing it for us. Oh, nice. The backing track and everything. Ooh, nice.
Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me, tell me no lies. Just hold me close, don't patronize.
If you've been here before, you've probably heard me talk about onsets, sustain and offsets. I'll try and sort of use a different analogy just to make sure that I can keep the videos exciting and you keep watching them. So let's not call them onsets, sustain and offsets today. Let's call each phrase a balance beam, like gymnastics. So the first thing we have to do is jump on it, which is how we begin the phrase. And he chose to begin a lot of his phrases with very clean pronunciations of his t's and d's.
Turn down the bed.
And his little routine while he's on the balance beam, also known as sustain, varies a little bit. Sometimes it's got this kind of breathy quality throughout the whole thing.
Tell me no lie.
But sometimes he chooses to really close his vocal folds and get a much stronger sound.
Don't patronize.
Which brings us to the way he dismounts. The way that he's choosing, the breathy way, is quite reliable actually. You've got your vocal folds closing like this. Kind of just let them relax and push more breath through. And it brings it down to a nice gradual close. That breathy ending is so sweet and easy to listen to. It looks like he built himself a little fort. There's like little pegs holding up some old curtains, and he's got his little blankets there, and he's just having a little cozy moment. I love that. Oh, it's really good.
'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. And you can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in this final hour, I will lay down my heart, and I feel the power, but you won't.
It's not just breathy, there's a little bit of narrowing, a little baby bit of constriction there. Oh, it's nice! Can you hear that kind of... that choppy vibrato sound sort of comes thick and then apart and then thick and then apart, and then it just sort of comes apart, but you can still hear the breath resonating in his vocal tract in the little tube. It's really pretty, and it's a really nice contrast before he goes into that chorus, which he, 'cause I can't make. That is how you keep people's ears peeled. Gross. As a singer. Just something as subtle as that, ending one phrase really fragile and then starting the other one with that fullness, is enough.
I can't make you love me if you don't.
And he got a lovely rasp. Oh, it's very nice. It does come naturally to a lot of people, but you can practice it if it doesn't come naturally to you. There's lots of different ways to get into it, but I think a really nice, safe introduction to it is to sing quietly with a little bit of vocal creak, which is a little bit like Fry, but just more. The easiest place to try and insert the rasp is on the beginning and the end. If And that way your voice is slowly going to get used to that experience of not singing clean, which is really alien for a lot of people, especially if you're classically trained. And then once you're used to it, you can see if you can insert that creak a little bit harder on each individual word. You love me. Sometimes it might be too much, sometimes it might not be enough, but that's the beauty of practice. As with any vocal technique you're going to try that's new, it's really important that you cross-train your voice. So in between little goes of this fry, you should try like a yeah, oh, with proper vocal fold closure. Otherwise your voice is going to get used to that position and then you might end up going around like Kim Kardashian.
Best selfie taker.
Which is what it is.
I'll close my eyes so I cannot see the love that you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come and I'll do what's right.
Look how much he paints his voice with his hands. There is some kind of bodily guidance to lead his voice, and this is so important. There's a lot of scientific peer-reviewed journals that include this in as an actual fact. If you use a motor movement, like a hand gesture or something like that, you are more likely to be able to control your voice. It will also make your voice more consistent and less likely to fail, because if you're learning singing like this, with the back of the hand to onset each of the notes,
I'll close my eyes.
your brain will begin to associate this movement here with that movement in here. So you're going to feel more calm and confident too, because your voice knows what this means and it will kind of respond, like when you train a dog. And some really smart dogs, like mine, will know that this means sit.
Daphne? What does this mean? What does this mean? Do you remember any of it? Yay! She's a genius! You're such a clever little bunny.
Just trust me, it works. For example, if you're scared of a high note, don't do this at the same time or look up. Yeah! You're gonna start to encourage feelings of tension and lift because everything's up there, and then every time you come to the note, your hand will go up and you'll be like, here we go. But instead, if you train those belty notes with quite a chill hand gesture that kind of does this, yeah! You're not gonna have that same kind of emotional response that's going to trigger a maladaptation. You're just going to approach it with a calm, focused attitude, which is what you really need for singing.
So I cannot see.
This hand gesture is really nice. It's almost as if he triggered the resonance to tip into the roof of his mouth. I cannot see. An opposite could maybe have been I cannot see, if he wanted to resonate it down here. So yeah, he's in perfect control of where he's putting his voice, and a lot of that is to do with hand gestures.
The love that you don't feel.
Oh, the love that you don't feel. You hear that feel, that little glottal one set, as opposed to the kind of thing he was doing previously, which was more like don't feel. And so this little feel has encouraged full vocal fold closure and a kind of brighter, stronger sound, which is nice to carry us into the rest of the song. So subtle, teeny weeny bambini differences are making a big difference. Again, without doing anything crazy, just by affecting how he jumps on the note or the balance beam is enough. It's very pro. And we don't know if you planned it this way or if it just came out this way, but that's the effect that it's having.
You don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight. I will give up this fight. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't.
Nice.
And you can't make your heart feel something it wants. Everything this final hour, I will lay down my heart.
Oh, it's contrast. Oh, see the way his voice just travels through that little melisma like it's nothing.
I will give up this fight.
It's so clean and defined, and his jaw is like, yeah, sure. The notes just plod down. So clean and perfectly and heavy. The riff has such definition, and this is usually the difference between riffs that sound okay and riffs that sound amazing. He's just so bloody relaxed, and I can't help but wonder if that's because he's trained these relaxed body movements to match his voice.
I will give up this fight.
Because it would just make sense if you're chill here. You're just chill mentally, and you're allowing yourself to sing the best you can because you're giving your body the optimal conditions in terms of, you know, your nervous system. So it's beautiful to see.
I will lay down my heart, and I feel the power, but you won't. No, you won't, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. No, you won't.
That is a lot harder than it might look. You won't. No, you won't. That's a huge jump, and he nailed the resonance, the pitch, and yeah. And it was accompanied by a gentle finger. And so, maybe that's the secret.
'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. And you can't make your heart feel something it won't. Every time in this final hour, I will lay down my heart.
I love that.
And I feel the power, but you won't.
Seems to be that a lot of people that sing in this kind of soulful genre and that have a really rich, resonant voice have this kind of TMJ looseness going on. Now, my guess would be that this kind of just happens naturally. Say you want like a warmer, richer, bigger sound, then you would want a bigger hole to resonate it in, right? Like the difference between a violin and a cello, you need a bigger hole. They would have maybe spent a lot of time with their jaw like that while they're experimenting and mimicking those big soulful sounds.
Oh, hell no!
So, I mean, you would assume that if you spend a lot of time with your jaw open and it's nice and free, then it's just gonna get used to that position. It's just gonna stay nice and stretched. And so, occasionally, it might sway in the breeze of his power. Same with people that do a lot of vocal agility. They're just used to their jaw being relaxed because there's a lot of laryngeal movement going on. So there's just a lot going on. So the jaw's just like, look, I'm gonna be the least of your worries. I'm gonna just swing around and come what may, you know? You see that a lot in this genre as well.
This final hour.
This is pushing down, guess what? The jaw again. So he just knows that he needs a big mouth. Whether he's consciously doing this or not is not the point. It's happening to make way for his voice, and it could just be a muscle memory thing. It's the same way that if you do ice skating, gosh, time for analogy number 3. You're just gonna get on the ice and your feet are gonna know what to do. Like, there's no chance that if you'd been doing it for many years, you're gonna get on and like hold onto the side and fall over and stuff, because your body just knows what to do.
And you can't make your heart feel something it won't.
That offset. Oh, I love it. So, you know, we were talking about offsets finishing in the different ways, but this is one of the hardest ways to cut off a note, especially if it's high, because what can happen is when we attempt this sudden offset of the note, we instead go, whoa, and we do a little bit of a Shakira on the end, but there was none of that. It was just so clean. Oh, and then it just leaves the gap next to it, like, hollow. And it's like, especially when you don't expect it. If you want to make people audibly gasp when you sing, cut off your note, and then you can try and look into someone's eyes. Not if you're singing at a wedding though. They don't like that.
I will lay down my heart.
See, that stop was so good. I just wanted more stop.
I will lay down my heart.
You may continue.
And I feel the power, but you won't.
Ooh.
'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. There's sweat in my eyes. I'm not really crying.
Okay, thank God for
looks
that.
like it though, don't it?
It did look like it. Good, you know, it's nice to know that some of us are strong enough to sing that song without crying. Teach me.
And I feel the power, but you won't.
That fragile vibrato at the end where the voice is like kind of cutting out a little bit. You are. As opposed to like, but you won't. Like that even undulation. I really like the little backing track as well, actually. It's really nicely getting out of the way. There's not a lot of instrumentation, but the instrumentation that they do have, everything seems to be quite reverby. So there's a big swelly sound on that guitar. There's reverb on those basic piano chords, and the drum beat is really just relaxed, you know, there's no crazy gospel feels or anything like that. And so we're presented with really simple parts that provide a lot of atmosphere. That's really important because obviously he's got a lot of character and inflections in his voice. So if someone's doing a bunch of freaking chops, you're not going to be able to hear the nuance of his voice, which is kind of the point in this case. So that was gorgeous. I loved it. He's just one of these people that he could just sing anything and just make you do this. He's a wince inducer. He got a nice little new Tinder bio there for free. I would like to get round to analysing more of his songs one day, because I did see on his channel that he did a cover of a Shania Twain song. And Shania Twain, I love Shania Twain. I used to try and dress up as her when I was 3 and do the walk. Man, I feel like a woman, but I'm only 3. All right, so here we go. Here's our oracle card for today. It's a prophecy penguin. Ultimately, it's all bollocks. This game of life is an illusion in a much bigger picture of universal existence. The goal is peace and happiness, right? Keep your focus on being in that vibe in every moment and balls to the rest. And that brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. If there are any singers you would like to see me react to, please do let me know down below in the comments, as it is always my pleasure. If you made it to the premiere, then big premiere hug for you. And if you're watching at any other time, then big hug for you too. Love you loads and loads and loads. I cannot wait to see you again in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Until then, bye. I feel like there's a lot of bollock themed cards recently. Lots of bollocks. But if that's what the universe is telling us, then so be it, I guess. See, his voice is so, see the way he's pretty, I like it. It's really, and it's like, just, yeah, it's one of, it's just like, yeah, oh, I love that. And it's nice.
You wanna go outside?
I think here's a water bottle. Told him a little joke there. Hope it was funnier than that one. I've got another analogy, but I'm gonna hold on to it because I think you've had enough.